Hello, my name is Rich Howard, owner of Architectural Builder Supply. This video is to bring you a closer look at the Bommer number 1514-601. This is a louver door double acting spring hinge. Considered light duty, although really nothing that Bommer does is really light duty. Everything they do is gives you the sense that it's heavy duty, although this is a light duty hinge. Down below this video there's a guide, in terms of when you'd be using this hinge. 18-pound doors, maximum door width 18-inch, maximum height 38-inch, 7/8 to 1-inch thickness of the door. That's really critical, how much room you've got in here to fit a door. If you have something thicker, go to the 1514, pardon me, the 1515. If you want to do a hold open, add H to the end of the part number, and then you can get your cafe or your louver doors to actually hold open at basically 90 degrees. Now, the 1514, like I said, is for louver doors or cafe doors, something double acting. Okay, and there is a link below this video to both the template and the installation instructions, and I will go on now and speak about both of those as it pertains to this hinge. First of all, let's look at the template first. The template is a dimensional drawing of the hinge, so there's not a tremendous amount of sense in beleaguering all of the points of the hinge. The frame leaf is 2-inch as it's indicated. The overall height of the door leaf is basically 2 1/4. Okay, gives you an overall height of 2 15/16 here. Okay, so dimensionally you have all the information there. On the template on the right side, that's the important stuff. How to determine the net door width or the inside frame opening based on having a fixed door width. So you can see from the table, you've got the 1514, that's what we're dealing with. You have the B clearance, okay, on the right side, which is the opposite of the hinge side. But then you've got a reference to how much smaller to make the door based on whether or not you're going to be mortising the door leaf or if you're going to be surface mounting it. Okay, so if you're going to mortise the door leaf flush, your allowance is a 1/16 of an inch between the hinge jamb and the door. If it's going to be surface mounted, then you'll allow a 1/4 inch. Okay. The B side, or the B clearance, on the opposite side, that is going to be dependent on a couple of things. It's going to be dependent on whether or not you're dealing with a square edge door or a radiused edge door. Typically doors are square edged, but the fact of the matter is you could do a radius on the door. You know how the top row of tile in a bathroom has a bowl nose to it? Well, if you did a double bowl nose, it would be a radius door edge like this. So your door is going to be square on one end, radiused, and you'll have a double acting situation. When you relieve the edge of the door like that, you allow for a greater width of the door. So if my hand is the frame and my fist is the square edge door, you could see that if the door has a square edge, it will make contact. But if you round all that over, then you can get your margin much tighter. It's 1/8 of an inch. Now, generally with cafe doors, that's not done. However, it certainly can be done because if you're dealing with a pair of doors, you need to keep that in mind as well. If you've got a pair of doors and they're both square edged, you're going to need to compensate a much greater amount than you would otherwise if they were radiused. So that would be another thing. And generally cafe doors like this, 1514s, are used in pairs. That's very common. If, as an example, let's say that it was a square edge door and you were mortising it and that your door was 18-inch. So you'd have an 18-inch width. Now we're determining the inside frame opening. You're going to build the frame around the door and the margins that you're required to have. You've got an 18-inch door. It's a full-size square edge door. You are going to mortise it into the frame, and then you're going to have, it'll be square edge on both sides and a mortise on the hinge. So 18 plus a 16th plus a 1/4 inch. So your inside frame opening would need to be 18 and 5/16. Conversely, if you're not mortising, add a 3/16 to that. So now you're at 18 and a half is where you would be. The height, you know, it is what it is. That would fit into normal preparations, but generally you're dealing with a cased opening frame and, you know, cafe doors. If you have any questions on how to determine that, please feel free to reach out to me. We're going to move on now to the instructions, and the instructions show how to, the part that's really not on the template, and these instructions are going to serve, you want to look on the right side because these instructions serve as preparation for the hold open version as well, so look to the right side. What's not on there is your mortise height of 2 1/4, and then that dimension is a bit smudged on the thickness, but when you magnify that, it's 3/16 of an inch. Mortise depth, and that is for the leaf here, 3/16. Okay. Now, what you're dealing with here is once you get your door mortised, or square edge or whatever you're doing, the jam leaf, which is back here, that's always surface mounted. There would be no other way, because of the swag on that hinge leaf, there's no way to mortise that at all. Okay. After you've got the door mortised, it's really just a simple matter of screwing everything together. Okay. Then you're going to need someone to help you to hold the door up, because otherwise, without the spring tension, the door is just going to hang, hang very sloppily down. And the door is probably not very heavy, but nonetheless. The next thing is to set the tension on the. By the way, you're going to get screws, all wood screws, and a complementary finish. Forgive me, this is the 601 finish. That's black japanned. These are available in several different finishes, but the 601 is black japanned. Okay. Setting of the tension is accomplished by the use of the provided tension rod and the tension pins. Now there are 4 in here because this client's order has 4 hinges. Pardon me. There are 4 pins in here because this client's order has 2 hinges. 2. You need 2 pins per hinge. With the tension collar up, you insert the tension rod into one of the holes and rotate it clockwise. And you can see as I do that, it reveals additional holes, and it's into one of those new holes that you would drop a tension pin. Okay? You do the same over on this side as well, on the door side. Now it's not referenced here, but in other instances, Bommer recommends that if you're doing a pair of doors, you'll have the tension collar up on one door, and then on the opposite door, put the tension collars down, and then of course you rotate it counterclockwise. Looking through the steps of all of this, which we've basically just hopscotched around, step 5, tension pin, place door in closed position, apply tension to each spring and replace tension pin. So you're setting it over, moving the pin over. I think up to 3 notches is what they recommend on other hinges, but you'll want to make sure your doors are straight, and also when you're operating them that they don't kind of leave the arc of what they're normally supposed to swing in. You don't want those doors to crash in each other because they're actually coming towards the center of the opening. Adjust tension as required. Do not apply tension past the 3rd hole of the tension collar. Otherwise, the light spring in this hinge will distort, and when you go to open it, you could snap it. That's very unusual to happen, but if you use it beyond what it's designed for, it's possible to break. And that's really everything on the Bommer hinge. Very nice quality item, black Japan, again, several different colors, finishes. The last thing I'd like to point out to you on this is the Bommer logo. You can see right above it says Made in USA, a fact that Bommer is quite proud of, as am I to be a representative for them. Full-line comprehensive manufacturer of all things hinge related, and of course double-acting spring hinges is basically synonymous with the Bommer name, but they're commercial hinges in terms of 5-knuckle, full mortise, 3-knuckle, half surface, everything in between, security options, sizes, finishes, base material. They have a complete and total offering in that realm, specialty and standard hinges. If you have any questions on the Bommer 1514-601, double-acting Louver-style light-duty spring hinge, or any other Bommer product, please feel free to reach out to us. Thank you.